Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostute Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddhapa Siddhanta Dhantaharine Namo Gauri Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambar Sambodhe Padambujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidanandalamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumesvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathayate Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupah Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Shri Radha Kanta Namostute Jaitam Suratau Pangur Mama Mandir Matir Gati Matsarvasvapadam Bhojau Shri Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vrindaranyam Kalpadrumadha Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanastau Srimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Vrishthalivi Sevamano Smarami Shriman Rasasarambi Vamshi Vata Tadastitaha Karshan Venu Swanir Gopir Gopinatha Shri Stunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhi Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So last time we had done 31st verse. Sarva Bhuta Sitam Yomam Bhajati Katvam Mastitaha Sarvataha Vartamanopi Sayogi Mai Vartate. Who is a real yogi? Who is always engaged in the worshipful service of the Super Soul. So he is a real yogi. So he is a real yogi. And he knows Lord and the Super Soul are one, and he always remains in that consciousness. So that person is a real yogi. And then today we are going to start with the 32nd verse. Atma Pamyena Sarvatraha Savam Pashyati Yorjuna Sukham va yadi va dukham sa yogi paramo mataha. He is a perfect yogi who by comparison to his own self sees the true equality of all being in both their happiness and distress. He is a perfect yogi. Atmaupamyena sarvatra. Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna. So how is his vision? That has been described. How is his vision? He sees everybody with a true equality. It means he sees everybody equal. So what is that equality? Is it that his behavior to everybody will be the same? Like he sees the true equality of all beings. He refers to, he sees Paramatma in each and everyone's heart. It is not just true equality refers to, okay, he will treat everybody in equal way. Now he will have the dealings will be different, but the compassion will be the same because he knows Lord is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. That is why before this verse, what was given, he knows that the one who is seated in everyone's heart is me. I and the Super Soul are one. That means he's always Krishna conscious. So what is it equality? What is it equality? What is the equal vision? What he has is he sees Lord in everyone, in both their happiness and their distress. That means in all the situations, he knows this is nothing but his own karmas. And that is why in every situation, he is very peaceful. So one who is Krishna conscious is a perfect yogi. He is aware of everyone's happiness and distress by dint of his own personal experience. He is aware of everyone's distress and happiness. That means he is a real friend, because when you say yogi, yogi means one who is a real friend. And who is a real friend? The one uh, who sees the situations in the same way. He tries to find out the permanent solution for the problem. He is not interested in the distress, nor is interested in the happiness. In fact, he knows the cause of distress. And what is the cause of distress? The forgetfulness of Krishna. Person's cause of distress. Keep your mobiles off. Manish Jani, Prabhu. Keep your mobile off. Hari bol. So, what is the real distress? I think you should all keep your videos on. At least you'll be in the class. When your videos are on, you are conscious that the class is going on. Also, some activity will be going on behind. Keep your videos on and attend the class. So, now what is the cause of distress? Forgetfulness of Krishna is a cause of distress. The most important point. And what is the cause of happiness? Real happiness. The moment you remember Krishna, and the moment we understand that Krishna is the enjoyer, just by understanding that Krishna is the enjoyer, the person can experience real bliss. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvalokam maheshwaram suradam sarvabhutanam shanti mucchate. So, what is that shanti? How he gets it? When he understands Bhoktaram yajnatapasam, and he understands Krishna is Suradam, Suradam sarvabhutanam, gyatva shanti mucchate. He understands what is real shanti. So, cause of happiness is understanding which happiness has been spoken, the spiritual happiness, the spiritual bliss. This material happiness is only flickering. Today, something will give you happiness when things happen according to your desire. Then we think, oh, that moment is a very happy moment. But when the things doesn't happen according to our desire, immediately we say this is a very sorrowful day. So this happiness and the distress, they are changeable. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Matra sparshastu kaunteya, shitoshna usukadukkadaha. Like how Shita, Ushna, they go on. This climate changes. Today it's cold, tomorrow it may be hot. Anyhow, these seasons change. But in every season, we have learned to tolerate. We have tolerated cold, then we tolerate heat also. We tolerate the rainy season also. That means in every situation, Titiksha Swaha, Krishna says you have to tolerate. As much as you're tolerating the seasons, so much also you have to tolerate the situations. And these situations, even if you don't want to go, it will go. Now, somebody doesn't want the miserable days to go, but still is going to go. And then the sukha will come. It's all according to the karmas. When the karmas reap, then it may appear like a wonderful day. When karmas reap to certain things, it may appear like a horrible day. So all these are uh, just situations which is going to change. Now a sincere friend, because it is said here, Atmao pamyena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va yadi va dukkham sayogi paramo matah. Who is he? He is Atma pamyena. He is a real friend, Suhradam. He is a real friend of all living entities. And because he is a real friend, he knows the cause. He knows the cause of suffering, and he knows the cause of real happiness also. The cause of suffering is forgetfulness of Krishna, and cause of being happy is understanding the person should always be in Krishna consciousness. So he knows that Krishna consciousness is the cause of happiness. So what he does, he tries to distribute the knowledge everywhere. So Srila Prabhupada writes all these things in the purport. But what is he doing? To first he understands the cause of happiness and distress. Then he distributes the knowledge everywhere. And that is why he is the best philanthropist. We say now, who is the best social worker? Actually, the best social worker who has understood the psychology of everyone. Because social, when you are saying, I'm going to help somebody, when you help, naturally, you should understand first on what level are you helping. Not that all the problems relate to physical level. There may be certain problems which will be, mental level. There are certain problems which will be there in the intellectual level. Thus, there are certain problems which are very subtle, which is difficult to understand. But Krishna consciousness has the power to reveal on what level is this suffering. There are certain people who are suffering because of hunger. There is a very gross level. There are certain people who are suffering at the level of mind because the mind is speaking too much. He is not able to forget what really happened, what he's not able to forget the things whatever has happened in the past. Somebody has spoken some bad things to him, slapped him, criticized him, insulted him. Some tragedy must have happened in the past. He's not able to forget that. So at the level of mind, there is so much of disturbance. And then there is an intellectual level. When the ignorance enters deep into the consciousness, where even the intelligence is not able to guide the mind. They said intelligence is the best friend of the mind. It has to guide the mind, teacher of the mind. But now the intelligence is not able to discriminate what to do, what not to do. And the problem has entered, or ignorance has entered into the intellectual level. That is a time. Lot of psychological problems happen. Depression cases and all those things are nothing but the intelligence is not able to function. At least at the level of mind, out of sight, out of mind, we can say. Out of sight, out of mind. But when the same ignorance enters at the level of intelligence, how is he going to remove? Who is going to guide? So a lot of depression cases happen. The only solution for all these things is Krishna consciousness. For any stage, you say, maybe at a gross level or a mental level or intellectual level, the only solution for all the problem, and who is the real friend? The real friend is a devotee, a yogi. When you say yogi, means he knows to control his senses. Another meaning of yogi is he knows to utilize his senses in Krishna consciousness. There are two types of yogis. There are Ashtanga yogis, there are Bhakta yogis. A Bhakta is also a yogi. Ashtanga yogis, they also solve the problem. So in this way, but the real problem can be solved only by a devotee. Even the stage of samadhi for an Ashtanga yogi can be understood by the association of a devotee. Samyag adiyate asmin atmatattvathatmayam, which has been very clearly explained in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What is the meaning of samadhi? Samyag adiyate asmin atmatattvathatmayam. So dhyate means meditate upon. Meditate upon Atma Tattva. So what is Atma Tattva? Understanding Paratattva. Understanding the position of oneself with Krishna. So here a perfect yogi, what he does, he tries to broadcast the importance of becoming Krishna conscious. Nachatasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakuttamaha. So Krishna says in 18th chapter 69th verse, a devotee, there is nobody dearest to me than this servitor. He is the dearest servitor of the Lord. So what a devotee, what is the vision of a devotee, or what is the goal of a devotee? To think about the welfare of everyone. And what is that welfare activity he is doing? The best welfare activity is connecting everybody to Krishna. Welfare means you are thinking something good for others. Somebody is lost in the fair, then it is a duty of a person to connect that child to the mother and father instead of showing some glamorous things in the fair. In the same way, devotee, when he sees a suffering person, what he will do, he will connect him to the father instead of trying to help him on his level or trying to show some glamorous thing in this world. So the real friend is 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 the devotee. He is the best yogi because he is not desiring anything for his personal benefit, but is always thinking for others. He sacrifices his comforts. Srila Prabhupada sacrificed his comfort. Srila Prabhupada, for all of us, traveled at the age when he should be taking rest. 69, 70 is not a small age. With bare things in his hand, not having any much facilities, bare facilities, taking the trunk in the hand and having the attacks in the ship. So heart attacks are not some wonderful things. It's a very painful thing. That means so much of tolerance. Why did he do that? Just imagine if somebody else would have been there, he would have come back. Because there is nobody to even look after Srila Prabhupada in America. So in such situation, taking all the difficulties, why a devotee walks? Just to fulfill the word of his spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession in the same mission. The mission of spreading Krishna consciousness. Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kaviviredikam kalmashapaham shravanamangalam srimadaatatam bhuvi te bhurida janaha. So they are all bhurida jana. They always think about the welfare of others. They have kept their comforts at the side. They are not interested. Even though there may be many comfort zones, they don't want that. Srila Prabhupada's quarters, if you see in Mayapur, is a small hut, not even quarters, you can say, small hut. Even today, 24 hours Sankirtan goes in that place. He made a mansion, he made such a beautiful building, he made staying places for everybody. But for himself, he just stayed in a kutir. That is Srila Prabhupada. So it is very difficult to understand the depth of the sacrifice which our acharyas have done for us. Today we are getting everything like a wonderful plate in our before us. We don't have to do anything. We just have to open and read, even though we may not be scholars in Sanskrit, but still we are able to speak just because it is the effort of Srila Prabhupada. One word our acharyas hard work. Today what we are taking is nothing but the acharyas hard work. Whether somebody wastes something in the temple when they are taking prasadam, I always think actually they are wasting the blood of Srila Prabhupada. Today we are even getting everything to eat nicely. When Prabhupada was actually struggling to spread Krishna consciousness, he used to sometimes not have anything to eat also. And in the Delhi, there was a printer. Prabhupada used to go to print books with him. And he used to understand that Prabhupada has not eaten anything. Prabhupada used to not ask anything, but he used to say, Prabhupada, will you have lunch with us? Prabhupada used to have. And even for a pen, Prabhupada, to buy a pen, though he was a pharmaceutical director, but he left everything, took sannyas. It is not like the present sannyasis when they are getting so much of comforts in ISKCON. But that time, taking sannyas was a hardship. When Srila Prabhupada took sannyas, it was a hardship. That's why now what is the present scenario and comfort which everybody in every stage, in every ashram, everybody has got grahastha ashram, brahmachari ashram, vanaprastha ashram, sannyas ashram. Whatever facilities everybody has got, it is nothing but the efforts which Srila Prabhupada has taken. Even Prabhupada took sannyas, but he did not have any assistance with him. He did not have anybody to even carry his luggages. He did not have even money also. That is Srila Prabhupada. So when we remember such things, then we can understand who is a true yogi. It's not so easy to become a true yogi. One who is only thinking about the welfare of others. What was the need for going to the West? Because his teacher told. And in this way, he does not envy anyone. It so happened once Prabhupada was going along with his disciples. And in the vehicle, some people were commenting, see, Prabhupada, see, the casino all are going to go in the hellish plan. Oh, see here, the butcher house. These people are going to go to the hellish plan. In this way, they were going on commenting, foreign body disciples. They're all they are all sinners. They are all rascals. And in this way, they were going on commenting. Prabhupada was just silent. When the destination came, Srila Prabhupada said, when I saw you, I did not see in such a vision that you are all sinners, you will go to hell. I did not see like that. In fact, I had compassion for you. That is why I gave Harinam Sankirtan, Jivadaya Krishna Nama, Sarva Dharma Sara. So it is very easy to comment on a person. But before commenting, we should first understand that whether I have taken one step to improve his life. It is very easy to comment. They are all fallen souls. They are all aparadhis. They are all sinners. Papi hai, ye hai, dusht hai. So many things we can comment. But the blame actually should go on us. Somebody was saying, Mataji, nowadays so much of conversion is happening. I said, why? Did we go for the root cause? Because we have failed to give our scriptures. We just blame the society very nicely. Conversion is happening, that is happening. What is government doing? First thing you should ask, what am I doing? What am I doing to present the scriptures to others, to give knowledge to others? So when there is an ignorance which is happening around, or which is spreading like a wildfire, and ignorance, many activities are also spreading like a wildfire, then immediately we should first take a step. What am I going to do in such situation? It is said charity begins at home. So when a person thinks about the welfare of the society, first he should think what is his contribution to such philanthropist activities. Such activities are there. If I want the whole community to improve, if I'm thinking of the welfare of the community, the first thing I should do, like there is a company which is now the directors of the companies are there, and this company is going to fall down, is going to go in a very bad shape. So then what should be the work? Immediately everybody should stand and say, I am going to do it. I am going to do it. Isn't it? So that is the work of the same thing. If there is a society which is going to go in a very bad shape, then it is the work of each and every individual or a citizen to take part in such philanthropist activities. So what is the best social welfare activity? Giving Krishna consciousness, because the present day situation is forgetfulness of Krishna. Just half an hour before I was watching Lata Mangeshkar's last rites, because she's Nightingale of India, and I still remember in my childhood, I never saw any movies, but I was very attracted to the songs, and I used to sing also very nicely. So naturally, every singer, there is an aspiration, we should also become like Lata Mangeshkar. Even I used to have that desire. And I used to sing very nicely in my childhood. Every time I used to get once more and all those things. And we had some chants behind, and they used to always play music. For me, one thing was that if I hear once, I could by heart the whole song. I used to write. So now I just watching some interview. In that she's saying, what is the difference between the present songs and the past songs? Why is it that even today, when a person has to do some shows, what does he select? Present song or the past song? He selects the past songs. Because in the past songs there were meaning. And if you see, They were not written by ordinary people. Most of the songs were written by Sufis. And Sufis are also devotees of Lord. Every song has a connection to Lord. That is why that song remains eternal, Sanatan. Why we are not able to forget those songs? There are certain songs which is always remaining. We cannot forget those songs. But nowadays songs, there is no meaning. There is no meaning. There is no tapasya. Even a singer has to do a tapasya to reach that level. Nowadays, anybody becomes a singer. YouTube is there, no? He will sing and he will present, and there will be 10 stupid people, donkeys, who will say how wonderful you have sung. But there we don't know what is actually song. We don't know what is riyas. We don't know what is tanpura. She was saying at the age of 5 years, she has started singing. And in fact, at the age of 4.5 years or something, she corrected somebody who was a student of her father. I'm going a little off track, but it is coming to this topic only. So now she is correcting a person at a very tender age that this is not the raga, this is not the way to sing. And the father listened and told the mother, we are having a ratna in the house, and told the daughter, you bring tanpura and sit and do riyas. So what is the meaning of riyas? Riyas means sense control. Very, very important. In every in every field, lot of sense control is required. And when that sense control happens, and father is to teach always Krishna bhajan. So that is how the culture is given to the children. So automatically, the senses are in control. So till he is not a yogi, he can never be successful even in the material life. To be successful in the material life, also you require lot of tapasyas. Not just I take up a video and I become famous, and all these things are only flickering. It will be only small time. When you say legend, she is known as a legend. What is the meaning of a legend? That means people learn. People learn from them. They create a history that is known as a legend. In the same way, a devotee creates a history. Today, in every house, we don't remember our grandfather, but we are remembering Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Everyone sings. Why? Because he has created a legend. He has created a history. He has created a system of practice, a sadhana. Just by doing that sadhana, everybody is able to relish that real nectar. It may take some few years, it may take 1 janma, 2 janmas, but the system has been created. Because in companies, what we say, make a policy. Whether I am there, whether I am not there. Shyamaswani Prabhu is a chartered accountant in a company. You know, policies are created, right? So when the policies are there, automatically the person is put in that policy, and for everybody it is common, isn't it? So these policies are very important. In the same way, in the sadhana bhakti also, there is a policy created by Srila Prabhupada. And what is that policy? The whole day has been structured. You be a CA or an engineer or a doctor, you may be anything. But if you follow this system, see, welfare activity, we are talking about the welfare activity. When you think about a welfare, person's welfare, naturally you have to give a process. But nowadays there are many gurus who have come in the market. They don't have such policies. Today they are there, many people are behind them. Jai Gurudev, Jai Gurudev, Jai Sadguru Maharaj. So many Maharajas have come. Sadguru Maharaj, this Maharaj, that Maharaj. Ask them, if they leave their body, have they made a policy in which everybody can be put, and thousands of ages it will go on? That is known as sadhana. This only comes in Guru Shishya Parampara. That is why we have these 4 important sampradayas. And what are the 4 important sampradaya? Brahma Sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, Kumar Sampradaya. And in fact, the acharyas from other sampradayas, they are appreciating Srila Prabhupada's so wonderfully made sadhana sheet for a devotee. So Prabhupada says morning hours should never be wasted. They are our precious moments. Generally on Sundays we like to sleep. But on Sundays we should actually relish, because other days we are always in the hectic schedule, going here, going there, going to office, always office conscious. But one day let us be completely focused. If one day is relished, that thing lasts as an impression for the other days, and you will seek and you'll aspire to get that day again. That means you're waiting for another Sunday, because you have fully enjoyed that Sunday. You have taken advantage of each and every moment of Sunday. So then you wait, when my all material responsibilities will get over, when I will be completely focused, because you are relishing. At least on holidays you are relishing. Other days there is a hurry burry, but on holidays you are relishing. So this is the welfare activity. What is a welfare activity? Teaching sadhana. Morning hours one should not waste. Morning hours is meant to chant. Morning hours are meant to do the deity worship. Morning hours are meant to read the scriptures. And the day goes in going to the offices, earning some money, and then doing the same thing, then using that money in Krishna consciousness, purifying our money, having the desire to build a temple. Today I was taking the class with Grahastha, the responsibility of the Grahastha has come. We are all earning money, isn't it? But while earning money, am I taking that responsibility? As much as I have made a wonderful home for myself and my kids, have I taken the responsibility of making a temple for Krishna? Today in Thane, we are going to have a wonderful Jagannath center. So, am I taking a step to have a wonderful temple for my Lord? So, if I take that step, then what am I going to do? I am going to save. I'm going to save. Yesterday, one of the Mataji, she said that I opened my grandmother's purse. Her grandmother left the body just, I think, 2-3 weeks before. They all opened her purse and they saw 10,000 rupees was there. And her grandmother had saved the money for Jagannath Center. So just see the consciousness of the old people. They save one rupee to give it to the temple. I still remember my grandmother used to have some money tied in her sari. They used to not have purse and all. All these purses came later. If somebody gives, they used to tie a knot. They used to keep. And when yatras used to be there, they used to go and give donations. So that is our culture. Our Bharat Bhumi is not just an ordinary country. It is the Rajdhani, the capital for everyone to learn. And what is the thing to learn? Sacrifice. Sacrifice for the well-being of others. Today I was telling to somebody, the life is a sacrifice. And if the mothers of the house and the fathers of the house know to learn this, know to sacrifice their life, then the upbringing of the children will be a wonderful thing. Sometimes we just think about our own comforts, come out of the comfort zone. When we start coming out of our comfort zone, then that is the time we can think about the welfare of others. And that our acharyas have done. They never thought for themselves. Now, if Srila Prabhupada would have thought for himself, he was a managing director of a company. Why take so much of pain? But that pain resulted in having 108 temples around the world, where people are going and enjoying in Govindas, going and taking darshan, taking wonderful, sitting in the wonderful restaurant, sometimes going and staying in the temples. But behind that, there is one person who has done a lot of sacrifice just for fulfilling the words of his spiritual master. So in any of the sampradaya you take, there will be one person who has done that sacrifice. And we should not forget that. So here it is said, there is a difference between a yogi and a devotee. And what is that yogi? Yogi always thinks about his elevation. He always thinks about how getting peace for himself. He thinks about getting peace for himself. But a devotee always thinks about the peace of others. For that, he can take all the disturbances. But he's only thinking about how to give the wonderful things for others, how to make others' life very peaceful. So, in this way, there is a difference between a yogi and a devotee. Yogi thinks about going to a secluded place and meditating perfectly. But a devotee, what he does? He will see that he takes everybody to meditate on Krishna. So he takes a higher responsibility. That is the samanbanam of this verse. Atmaupamyena sarvatraha. Atmaupamyena. Atma upama. Upama means he's comparing with his own self. He sees everybody equally and compares it with his own self. That means he understands the sukha and dukha. He understands his real dukha is forgetfulness of Krishna. That is why he has compassion for others also. Now, what does Arjuna say? So, till now, Lord gave the knowledge about Dhyana Yoga. Now, Arjuna says, Yoyam yogaspaya proktaha samyena madhusudana etasyaham na pashyami chanchalatva sitim stiram. Yoyam yogastvaya proktaha. Oh Lord, you have given a system. Now Lord is speaking on Dhyana Yoga. Till now Lord has fully not started on Bhakti Yoga. It is Dhyana Yoga in this chapter. But Srila Prabhupada cannot resist. That is why Srila Prabhupada's commentary, if you read, that it is Krishna conscious. It is Bhakti Yoga only. But actually what Krishna has told about Ashtanga Yoga. So the system of yoga, what you are summarizing, Proktaha, what you are describing, O Krishna, O Madhusudana, killer of the demon Madhu, Aham na pashyami. I don't see, I'm not able to see it in a practical way. I find it impractical. It appears to me very impractical. Why? Chanchalatva sthitim stiram. Chanchalatva. Because the mind is very chanchal. Ashtanga Yoga focuses on bringing the mind in control, to control the mind. That is the purpose of Ashtanga Yoga. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Everything is focused on how to control the mind. But here he says, I find it very impractical, O Krishna, because this mind itself is very restless, unsteady. So whatever you're telling, O Krishna, Shuchau Deshe, Yoga Paramam, Yogi Paramaha. So it ended with Yogi Paramamataha. Started with what? It started with Shuchau Deshe. So Krishna started the whole section in the 11th verse, ended in 32nd verse. 11th verse started with Shuchau Deshe, go and first select a secluded place. Then that person is Paramo Mataha, Yogi Paramo Mataha. Then that person is actually Yogi Paramaha. Parama means a perfect yogi. So Arjuna says, I am finding this very impractical. For an ordinary man to leave the home and go to a secluded place in mountains, jungles, Himalayas, it is very difficult. That too in the age of Kali. Now it started with Shuchaudesh. Select a wonderful secluded place. Is it possible for a grahastha? How can he leave everything? Even in this age of Kali, it is very difficult to give up everything and go and stay in Himalayas. Even in the level of sannyasi also. You ask them, you leave everything and go, leave your monastery, everything, go and go just in the jungles and go on roaming there. Go and do your tapasya there. It is not possible in every ashrama. Even a brahmachari cannot do, a sannyasi cannot do grastas. There is no question out of it. It is not so easy to give a vanaprasthi for namesake. It is only vanaprasthi. First of all, there are no jungles. All the jungles are cut. And wonderful hotels are made. So even to search a jungle is also problem. And in Kali Yuga, you say secluded place. That means jungle and mountains. Mountains are also cut. And if you go to mountains also, you will find all wonderful sensory activities are going on. Every mountain has become a hill station nowadays. So where is that place? Where to go? And then so much of facilities, because the whole prana is in Anna. In this Kali Yuga, where is this mati? Where is this prana? In the Anna. If you go to a secluded place, if you're hungry, what you'll do? So whole consciousness will be, how am I going to fill my stomach, fill my belly? So this present age is a very difficult. It's very difficult. Now when Arjuna is speaking this, that was Dwapar Yuga. At least some austerity can be done. Seeing the upcoming age is Kali Yuga. And seeing the dosha of Kali Yuga, Arjuna is placing this question on behalf of all of us. Because in Kali Yuga, it's a bitter struggle. Because Alpayu is there. Prane Alpayusha Sabhya Kalavesmin Yugejana Manda Sumandamatayo Manda Bhagyopad. What are the doshas of Kali Yuga? Prayan Alpayusha Sabhya. Alpayu. Prayan Alpayusha Sabhya. Alpayu. A person stays for 90 years. Oh, wonderful. Lata Mangesha stayed for 92 years. We say, oh, wonderful, 92 years. But at those times, people used to stay for 10,000 years, 1,000 years. Now for 100 years means we say, oh, very good, wonderful. Teeth is in position, everything is position. 100 years is a big thing. But nowadays, even to reach 100 years, there is also a big struggle. It's not so easy. On top of that, there is only, people are there to misguide us. Ryan Alpasha Sabya, Kalavasmin Gejana, there is always a quarrel. Mandaha Sumandamatayo, Mandaha, lazy. To wake up early in the morning itself is a big problem for everyone. To take bath again is a big problem. Lazy people. And short-lived, lazy, mandaha, sumandamatayo, forgetfulness. What we read yesterday, we don't remember. What we read 1 hour before, we don't remember. So forgetfulness is also there. We don't remember. Less intelligent. On top of that, misguided. There's always a fight. Manda, sumandamatayo, manda bhagya. Less fortunate. So considering these Kali Yuga people, Arjuna is placing this question on behalf of all of us. What is that? Why this process, whatever you have given Krishna, I don't find it practical for this Kali Yuga. That is why when we say there are yoga schools which have been opened, I am going to yoga class. Don't say yoga class. You are going to an exercise class. It is nothing but an exercise class, because the word yoga means connection. Connecting matter to spirit, bridging the gap between matter to spirit, that is yoga. And which has not been understood by any yoga teachers. And they have opened and they say we are teaching pranayam, we are teaching the breathing techniques. Yes, to keep our body healthy. Simple. On a gross platform, it is a welfare activity. That is also a welfare activity, but it is on a gross level. But not on the spiritual level. On the spiritual level, the real yogi is actually a bhakta. So the bhakta, what is the duty of the bhakta? Be compassionate to everyone and give Harinam, Jivadaya, Krishnanama, Sarva Dharma Sara. So Srila Prabhupada says people are not serious about self-realization even by simple practical means. Now just see. In this Kali Yuga, what is the easiest way to attain Krishna? So the question was asked, among all the yugas, what is the best yuga? Sukadeva Goswami says, Kalau dosho nidherajan hasti eko mahan guna. Kirtanadeva Krishnasya mukta sangha param braje. Kalau dosho nidherajan. There may be many doshas. Just now we saw the doshas. Prayan Alpayusha Sabya Kalavasmin Tejana Manda Sumanda Matyo Manda Bhagyupadutta. These are all the doshas. In spite of all the doshas, Kalau dosho nidhe rajan. Asti eko mahan guna. One mahan guna is there. What is that mahan guna? That mahan guna is kirtana. So kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta santah param bhaje. Just do kirtan. This is the smallest process, the easiest process. But the easiest thing becomes the biggest headache in this Kali Yuga. Easy way. Just take adrak when you are coughing. No, we will not do that. Just take honey, just take adrak. No. Till we don't land up in the hospitals, we are not satisfied. That is why easy process, just go to an Ayurvedic treatment. No, we just want to go and have so many this done, what we call X-ray, not only X-rays. Now what scanning, meaning whatever is done. Till the time we are not satisfied. That means we want to spend more. If the doctor says, just give me 10 rupees, I'll give you a nice medicine, we'll doubt on him. Because till we don't spend 50,000, 60,000 in the hospitals, we are not satisfied. To such an extent, we will like to die in the hospitals. But we don't want simple solutions. That is why very clearly it has been said, people, even for self-realization, they don't want simple means. Simple means is just chanting the holy name of Krishna. That's simple formula. A simple formula becomes a very difficult formula. Then think about difficult yoga system. Go and select Suchau Deshe, go and select a secluded place. Then perform the Dhyana Yoga. Come to the stage of Samadhi. How difficult it is. So when the smallest things or easiest things become so difficult, then how a person is going to adopt a difficult system, yoga system? Like selecting a place, detaching the mind from material engagements, leaving everybody. It's not practical. In other yogas, it was practical. In Satyuga, this yoga system was practical. It is not that it's impractical. It was practical because they knew that samadhi, the meaning of samadhi. So that was it. So the Arjuna is telling this is very difficult to follow, especially in this Kali Yuga. Now Kali Yuga is going to come. That time only he is saying it's very difficult to follow. In Dwapar Yuga only he is saying it's very impossible to follow this system. He belonged to the royal family and he had very wonderful qualities. He was a great warrior. He had great longevity. He was intimate friend of Krishna. That means 5,000 years ago, he had better facilities than us. Even that time also, he is refusing to accept this Dhyana Yoga system, Ashtanga Yoga system. Therefore, what to speak about this age of Kali where we don't have much facility also? When this system is considered highly impossible in this age of Kali. So it is said it may be possible for some very few, very rare people, but general people, some may have attained siddhis also. Some may have attained perfection also by following this system. It is not that it is not followed. Some few must have done that. But for a common people, a general people, when you say policy, it is for everyone. Exceptionals are there. So this policy is not going to function. If this were to 5,000 years ago, then what to speak about this age? When 5,000 years before only, it was so impractical. Then what to speak of the present age? Those who are imitating the yoga system in different so-called schools and societies, although complacent, are certainly wasting their time. They are completely in ignorance of the desired goal. So in this way, very clearly, Arjuna says, very difficult to follow. So we'll see in the next class how more Arjuna is speaking about this mana, which is very chanchal. Okay? Any doubts? So I have to stop here. Another class is going to start. It's a new batch. So I can put the link if you want, you can join. It is going to be from the first, so you can wait. I'll be putting that message in the group also. Hare Krishna. Chandrapati Prabhu, you can put the link in the group so that whoever wants to join from the first class, they can join. Hare Krishna. So 6 to 7 it will be there.
Okay, Mataji, Hare Krishna. Ending the class.